and Sergei Krikovyov will use several rendezvous tools and handheld lasers to provide range and closure rate information as Endeavour narrows the gap between itself and the Russian module. Commander Bob Cabana will be working from the aft flight deck on board Endeavour as he manually guides the shuttle in a looping maneuver to a point 250 feet above Zarya, where he will slowly close in on this 21-ton orbiting module for its grapple by mission specialist Nancy Curry. Once Zarya is mated to Unity, the International Space Station components will rise about 76 feet above Endeavour's payload bay and have a combined weight of 35 tons. Endeavour is currently at an altitude of 142 statute miles as it flies over the Pacific Ocean. And we're currently at 2 days, 4 hours, and 21 minutes into the flight. This is Mission Control.
Endeavour's astronauts began Flight Day 3 of the first International Space Station assembly mission with their attention focused squarely in the payload bay. Their prime task, the installation of the connecting node called Unity onto the shuttle's orbiter docking system. And mission specialist Nancy Curry, the operator of the shuttle's robot arm, told spacecraft communicator Chris Hadfield Saturday afternoon that they were eager to get to work.
We'd like to get ahead a little bit. We'd like to go ahead and start arm and power up and at least get the arm at pre-cradle. And based on what we've seen, with the CTDC performance in darkness and the inability to use the app payloads. Of course, we want to unburst during daylight, so we'd like to get a little bit ahead so we're all set to start the unburthing process right at the sunrise.
Sounds good, Nancy. You have a go.
Assisted by Mission Specialist Jim Newman, Curry raised a 50-foot-long arm from its cradle and secured its end effector to the grapple fixture on one of the pressurized mating adapters. Then she began slowly raising the 12.5-ton, 36-foot-long structure from its berth, careful of its close clearances with the sides of Endeavour's payload bay. Once she had Unity clear of the structures of the orbiter, Curry started maneuvering the module in the direction of the orbiter docking system in the forward portion of the cargo bay, while rotating it to a vertical position so that the pressurized mating adapter was aligned above the extended ring on the orbiter docking system. With Unity properly positioned, Commander Bob Cabana reported to Hadfield that he was ready to take the next step.
Houston Endeavour, we see ourselves in a good config. If you're happy, we're ready to fire the jets.
We have an excellent view through camera Charlie. You have a go to install Unity.
Cabana fired Endeavour's thrusters to force the orbiter up, pushing the docking system against the PNA, engaging the docking mechanisms in both pieces of equipment, and locking the Unity node in place. Moments later, Mission Control gave the word to retract the docking ring.
Endeavour Houston, by our tally, you have had the ring aligned for over a minute. You are go to pick up with the ring in step 8.
Roger, Houston, we're picking up with step 8.
Pilot Rick Sturko and Mission Specialist Jerry Ross retracted that docking ring, pulling Unity's docking surface down onto the docking system. Cabana reported to Mission Control the operation was complete.
Houston Endeavour, we show ourselves complete with step 18 on auto-docking sequence. Houston Endeavour, we've got Unity firmly attached to Endeavour, and we're off to a great start on building the International Space Station. Thanks to everybody down on the ground for such excellent training.
Endeavour Houston, congratulations to all the members of the crew. It's a beautiful sight.
Once Unity was firmly in place, Curry released the robot arm's grip on the grapple fixture on pressurized mating adapter number 2 and moved the arm's end effector to conduct a visual survey of pressurized mating adapter number 1 at the far end of Unity, where the control module Zarya is to be mated to Unity Sunday evening. Meanwhile, her crewmates worked to equalize the atmospheric pressure between the shuttle and PMA-2 before Cabana and Ross opened the hatch and briefly entered the PMA to configure hardware for later in the mission. Later, spacewalkers Ross and Newman, assisted by mission specialist Sergei Krikalev, spent time setting up some of the tools that will be used during the 3 planned spacewalks later this week to complete connections between Unity and Zarya. Then, Ross and Krikalev took time to answer a few questions during an interview late Saturday night. Ross was asked about the potential benefits from the new space station once it's completed.
Well, I think the international aspects of the space station mean that we're all learning to work together as one people of the world, and that probably will be one of the most important benefits. However, after the station is constructed, we do expect to have very many new scientific discoveries that will benefit every person on the surface of the Earth.
With the second piece of that station towering out of the payload bay, Cabana and Sturko closed out the workday with another firing of Endeavour's jet thrusters to refine the approach to Zarya for Sunday's scheduled rendezvous and grapple, leading to the mating of the first 2 pieces of the International Space Station.
morning, Endeavor. Army-Navy games in the third quarter, and as you can probably tell by the wake-up music, the midshipmen are ahead 30-19.
Well, thanks, Chris. I was hoping that was some indication of the score.
Endeavor Houston, we're with you on the west. Initial look down here, looks like everything's going well.
So the Justice Unit is coupled, and with your go, we are ready to release the payload.
You have a go.
With this live television from a camera in the payload bay of Endeavor, that call from Mission Specialist Nancy Curry that the arm is latched on to Unity, and now preparing to release the payload retention latches, 5 latches that have held Unity in place during launch.
Well, Houston Endeavor, Unity's coming out of the payload bay.
We're watching.
The left-hand side of the screen in this view is the cone-shaped mating adapter and the docking mechanism at the end of it that will be aligned directly above a docking mechanism on Endeavor's orbiter docking system as Curry continues the installation of Unity on that docking system.
Houston Endeavor, will attitude maintenance be required at low hover?
A well-oiled machine. We were just discussing the same thing. No, it is not required, Bob. Beautiful and delicate work so far. It's a pleasure to watch.
And Nancy's a real pro.
Unity now more than 8 feet out of the bay. So this view of Unity from a camera mounted in the rear right-hand corner of Endeavor's cargo bay. So Curry begins rotating the module to a position eventually perpendicular to the cargo bay of Endeavor. In the forward portion of the bay in this view can be seen the orbiter docking system and the docking mechanism on Endeavor with the docking ring extended, ready for attachment with the docking mechanism on Unity.
Houston Endeavor, we see ourselves in a good config. If you're happy, we're ready to fire the jets.
We have an excellent view through camera Charlie. You have a go to install Unity. Endeavor Houston, By our tally, you have had the ring aligned for over a minute. You are go to pick up with the ring in step 8.
Roger, Houston, we're picking up with step 8. Fine. And Houston Endeavor, you get a good view on camera Alpha, so you want to watch?
We are watching.
Houston Endeavor, we show ourselves complete with step 18 on auto docking sequence. Houston Endeavor, we've got Unity firmly attached to Endeavor, and we're off to a great start on building the International Space Station. Thanks to everybody down on the ground for such excellent training.
Endeavor Houston, congratulations to all the members of the crew. It's a beautiful sight.
Have you run into any complications thus far in the mission?
Fortunately, we've had very few problems. Obviously, we didn't launch on our first attempt. I think that's probably the most significant problem we've had so far. The orbiter is working tremendously, and everything's going pretty smoothly.
When docking in space, how do you control your craft's precise speed in order to avoid collisions and to brake properly?
Docking procedure is developed very carefully, and usually one vehicle is passive and second is active. An active vehicle usually has tools to measure speed and range.
What is the best first step a young person can take when becoming an astronaut?
Well, I think the very best first step any young person can take to become an astronaut or a doctor or a teacher or anything else is to take the very best advantage they can of their school educational opportunities, study very hard, and prepare themselves for the future.
We have all heard that the first part of the space station was sent by Russia nearly 1 year late. Funding had to even be provided by NASA. Are you at all worried that other countries in the international effort might not fulfill their tasks properly or on time?
Well, I think in any program as large as this one, you're always concerned about changes in the political situation in any country or the financial situations in any country. We're building this program over many years, and so we have to be concerned about those factors, but there's nothing specific that we're concerned with.
How do you think mankind will benefit from the space station, and what future developments may it lead to?
Well, I think the international aspects of the space station mean that we're all learning to work together as one people of the world, and that probably will be one of the most important benefits However, after the station is constructed, we do expect to have very many new scientific discoveries that will benefit every person on the surface of the Earth.
Okay, welcome aboard the flight deck. We had a really successful day today, and I'll put it together on tape in about 6 minutes here. And the crew hasn't seen this yet, but I'm going to make them narrate their portion of it, so it'll be a little bit of a surprise to them. Jim's in his normal spot there. He just turned around from working on STS. When he isn't doing anything else, that's where he is. So we're going to switch here to the video, and we'll share it with you. Okay, starting out, Nancy on the arm getting the note out, and I'll let her talk about how she maneuvered Unity around. You can see Jim backing her up.
Well, first off, we went very, very slow. I had warned these guys that we were going to go as slow as we possibly could, and just had a lot of great support up here. Jim was the best out here you could ever wish for. Bob was helping me out. Everybody on the crew was helping out, and it just went great. The arm flew great, and really speaks highly of our simulators, and certainly of the Canadian agency squad that built the arm for us. It flew just great.
Here's Nancy getting ready for the grapple. I know you guys had a lot of outside views, but we wanted to share what was going on inside. You can see some of our tools over there on the side. Jim's got our SAD working.
And we really appreciate the OSAD team, Victor and Stuart and Michelle and Minchma. Thanks a lot for all their great work.
Here's Unity coming out of the bay. I went ahead and picked a shot where the camera was moving because Nancy was moving it so slow that it looked like a still photo every time I tried to tape something.
I'm sure you all noticed too while she was doing that Posh worked really well, and something we need to improve in the simulators back home because it just worked great up here.
If there's any rubs on it, Nancy didn't do it, that's for sure.
Probably can't see, but for those of us who are vertically challenged, I did employ the use of the FRED, the restraint device, and it worked well, and big thanks to the flight crew support folks that provided that for us during the flight. We've used it since day one, and I'll continue to use it throughout the flight.
Everybody was involved. Sergey was taking pictures and working IMAX, and Jerry was working IMAX and taking pictures. Hopefully we got some really good shots. You can see it out the overhead window here with the Earth in the background. It really was a pretty sight. You can see SVS over there on the side. Jim was working that real hard also. Nancy was really happy once we got it all lined up and ready to berth and fire the jets. It was very accurate.
Yeah, we were all saying thank you to James Bagan and all the folks that did the analysis on that for the pitch and the ODS. Worked that great.
This is a good demonstration. We wondered before flight if we'd be able to open the ODS hatch fully with the suits up in the AAPs, and we had to take off the helmets to even get a shot at it, and even after the helmets were off, the hatch would only come about a half to two-thirds open. That's the way we did it.
On ingress day when we're doing transferring, we're going to have to take the suits down to get all the equipment through.
I was kidding Bob that Bob looked like Santa and his big bag there when they were back in the ODS and airlock.
Here we are inside PMA2, and Sergey's coming in to take a look at the front porch to his new home. Here Sergey and Jerry are buttoning things up, closing out on their way out. This was a big day for our EVA prep. We got all our tools out. That's just a small portion. We had over 100 different items stowed in probably 15 different lockers that we had to assemble, attach them to the fish stringers, as you can see Jerry and Jim doing there. Some real nice work by Karina Shook and Wayne Wedlight getting that all figured out. And we'll see how it goes tomorrow, but we feel pretty good about it.
On this side of the cockpit are the computers, and here we're working STS. We've been having some pretty good success with it, and we're pretty optimistic for using it tomorrow.
And just a nice shot of Unity with the Earth moving by below. Well, that's our show for tonight. We tried to summarize a whole lot of work in 6 short minutes, and we didn't have a lot of time to put it together. It's been a busy day, and we're really looking forward to tomorrow in the rendezvous in grappling Zarya and getting it firmly attached to the other end of Unity so that Jim and Jerry can go outside and all of us can go inside and start this space station. Again, thanks to everybody down on the ground for all your great help. We really appreciate it.